What's going on, everyone? Harris Rubenstein here for NBA Weekly. Now, our positional rankings have gone up over the past couple weeks. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and power forward are currently up, with center coming up on Tuesday morning. Remember to check out NBA Weekly. So we went back through our YouTube comments and got 5 players that we missed on our rankings that you guys have been complaining the most about. So without further ado, let's get into those 5 players and explain why they missed out on our rankings. All right, let's get into it because you guys love to complain in our YouTube comments. So let's start with the number 1 complaint that we've gotten from our rankings so far, and that was leaving out Gordon Hayward in our rankings. Now, you may be wondering, I had so many people ask me, where is Gordon Hayward? Why is Jason Tatum on this list over Gordon Hayward? Well, guys, the reason that Gordon Hayward is not on this list, we don't know if he's ever going to be the same player again. We have no clue if he's ever going to be normal again. I mean, look, the dude had a debilitating leg injury. Not just debilitating, his ankle snapped in half and turned sideways. We have no idea how good Gordon Hayward is going to be this year. Now, look, he is absolutely open to becoming one of the best small forwards in the NBA again. Absolutely. But it even took Paul George time to come back from that devastating leg injury. His first healthy season back, his field goal percentage was almost 20 points lower than his career average going forward. Sometimes, guys, you just have to be patient with these injuries. I think overall, it's going to take Gordon Hayward some time to get back to being right. So if you really do think that Gordon Hayward should be part of our rankings, just remember, this stuff takes time in order to come back from. This isn't just a small injury. All right, let's get to our next player who just missed in our rankings. And it was a guy who actually was still in our rankings, but someone who you still complained about. Now was John Wall not being in the top 5 for our point guards. Our top 5 was Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, and Chris Paul. I don't think at this time you could argue that John Wall is a better point guard than those other guys. Now, upon review, he might have an argument for being ahead of someone like a Drew Holiday, who simply has not been the elite level player that John Wall has had. However, I think myself, along with the rest of the NBA community, especially here at Chat Sports, are waiting for John Wall to get out of his own way. And at this point, we just need to see more from John Wall. I think this is the year he might take a step forward. But look, guys, he has to start posting some success in the playoffs, winning some playoff games, get to an Eastern Conference final. Stop writing checks that you cannot cash. All right, man? Like, he even said it today, oh, we're going to win the East. How about you stop saying you're going to win the East and actually win the East? Because we're at number 4 or 5 times that he says the Wizards are going to win the East, and they just don't even come close. So John Wall will stay at number 10 on our rankings until he actually makes an impact on the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's get to our next player who just missed our rankings. I was stunned to see that people were complaining about Harrison Barnes not being on our list. There's a very obvious reason as to why Harrison Barnes wasn't on our top 10 small forwards list. Harrison Barnes is an unbelievably average basketball player. True shooting percentage of under 55%. An overall net rating of -6. He didn't average 20 points per game last year. The Mavs were horrible last year. I don't know how you could put someone like Harrison Barnes in a top 10 positional ranking when he's not even the best player on his team anymore. Like, I'm not a huge Harrison Barnes guy. He's a very average NBA player. There's a reason why the Warriors were very happy to let him walk and go to the Dallas Mavericks. He's an average player. He's a good scorer. But I'm sorry, guys. Harrison Barnes is not one of the 10 best small forwards in the NBA. There are a multitude of guys that I would take over Harrison Barnes if I was trying to build a team. So no Harrison Barnes on our list. Let's get to our next guy here, Jaylen Brown. Now, our shooting guard list overall, and we'll bring this up for you guys right now, our overall shooting guard list, I think, ended up coming out to be very full. So before we go over Jaylen Brown, this was our top 10 shooting guards. Number 10 was Chris Middleton, Devin Booker, CJ McCollum, Donovan Mitchell, and Bradley Beal, making up the bottom half of the top 10. And then the top half of the top 10, James Harden, Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, Victor Oladipo, and Jimmy Butler. Now, you go through this list, and what do you see? Well, you see a lot of offensive upside. Guys who are either the primary scorer on their team or are a 20.8 game scorer. Most of the guys on this list are the best scorer on their entire team. You could make an argument that Jaylen Brown isn't even the 5th best scorer on his basketball team. He's not as good as Kyrie Irving. He's not as good as Gordon Hayward. He's not as good as Jason Tatum. He's not the kind of scorer that Al Horford is. I'll still take Al Horford's versatility regardless of his points per game. And you can make an argument that there are a few other players on the Celtics roster who are ahead of Jaylen Brown offensively. Now, where his talent and value comes from is being a very good two-way player. I mean, he was a guy who was getting Defensive Player of the Year votes last year. He was a candidate for the All-Defensive team this year as well. His net rating was positive. He had a great year last year. By middle of the season, Jaylen Brown could absolutely be on our list. But for now, I'm only going to keep him off there. I think he's number 11 or number 12. We'll see where Jaylen Brown ends up going forward. And then finally, the number one complaint that we had on any of our top 10 was you guys asking, where the heck is the Spurs starting lineup? Ladies and gentlemen, I will answer that right now. The reason why the Spurs were not included in our rankings is for one simple reason. They don't shoot threes. They don't shoot threes. Their entire projected starting lineup for next year, Murray, DeRozan, Rudy Gay, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Pau Gasol, they combined to make as many threes last year as a unit as Joe Ingles did as a single player. Guys, this is a three-point shooting league. The Warriors shoot threes. The Rockets shoot threes. The Celtics shoot threes. Everyone in the NBA shoots threes, and that's what's winning basketball games today. I think the Spurs are going to be very good next season. But guess what, guys? Unfortunately, if you don't shoot threes, you ain't winning anything. So if the Spurs start to shoot some threes, we'll put their lineup in our top 10. But for now, I'd absolutely rather take the Utah Jazz's starting lineup because they're going to shoot threes. I will take the Denver Nuggets lineup because they shoot threes. This is 2018, people. If you do not shoot threes, you are not going to win an NBA title. So for now, the San Antonio Spurs stay off of our list. We will include them if we deem it fit when we come out with our mid-season NBA lineup top 10. So for now, that's going to do it for our top 10. We'll see you back here in just a second. That's going to do it for me today. Remember to subscribe to us here at Chat Sports so you can get alert whenever we got some fresh NBA content for you. Let me know in the comment section below if there's a player that you wanted to see on our rankings that did not make it. And also give me a prediction for who you guys think is going to be the #1 center on our rankings. But that's going to do it for me today. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsThean for all your NBA news and updates. Remember to check out NBA Weekly every Tuesday and Thursday morning here on YouTube as well as on Facebook at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But for now, we'll see ya.